Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're playing with the sharpshooter class today. So I haven't really, or I hadn't played much of this class, but I was constantly seeing people saying that the sharpshooter class was the best in the game. So I started to look at it, and to be honest with you, initially I was not enjoying playing this class. I didn't see what it was that everybody was talking about, but I stuck with it and I've been grinding the class out for a little while now. I think we're at, I think level 16 now. Oop. So basically, once you start to unlock some of the class-only weapons, such as this recon lasgun and the plasma weapon, it comes into its own. But I wanted to talk about it a little bit because the playstyles are very different. So, as it states, the sharpshooter is very much a ranged class. So you're not as strong melee-wise. The damage taken from melee attacks is not as good. He's not as strong as the Zealot or the Ogren, for example. But it's a lot of fun to play once you work out, you know, that you are a ranged person, right? Where are you? I hear you. Come down and say hello. So, in the ranged role, with your sharpshooter ability, which gives you 50% damage, plus 50% damage, for 5 seconds. So your role basically is to take on elites, mark elites to the team, take them on, give some range suppression, and kind of stay back and lay down the fire. So with that in mind, when you unlock this recon lasgun, which is a full auto lasgun, and of course grenades, like so. We need to get back from this.
I hope you're taking notes. Fucking grenade!
Trying to show you this weapon. That's a bad move as well. Isn't it always when you try to make something on YouTube that your play is absolutely trash? Anyway, when you take that into consideration, it becomes quite a bit of fun to play, right? So you mark out the elites, use your ability, use your firepower, and as you can see, this auto lasgun is a lot of fun to use. It has quite a big magazine. The damage is, you know, not as good as some of the other weapons, but if you hit those headshots, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to use. So I'm going to talk about my experience so far using this weapon. You can see, like, we can do a lot of damage, and it's quite versatile, you know. Accuracy's pretty good, fire rate's really good, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I want to talk about this weapon and compare it in contrast, basically, to the plasma, and talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to chuck some gameplay of that in shortly, and we'll talk about it. Let's get rid of that guy. So I'm looking forward really to get this this recon. Here we go. Right, so here's your elite. I've enabled my ability. Go for the headshots, and he's down. That is the job of the sharpshooter, and your ability should highlight the elites anyway, as long as they're not Ogren. But you can see we're quite strong as long as we keep ourselves out of the hordes at a distance, doing exactly what we're supposed to do, which is ranged. It's quite a strong class. It's good fun, but it turns the game into very much a shooter. I mean, I know it's Warhammer 40k, and obviously that is a firearms game. Where'd you go? Let's not get involved in that. Let's get a grenade in there. He's getting stuck in. Get a reload. Oh, you missed me. Have that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, but like I say, it is a Warhammer 40k game, so it is shooty, but a lot of the other classes you're relying heavily on a strong melee weapon, because this game, you know, there's so many hordes, It's always up close and personal a lot of the time. But if you take the strengths of this class in consideration, and you use it as a ranged class, it's a lot of fun. So anyway, I'll switch over and we'll put in some footage of the plasma and we'll talk about that for a second. Alright guys, so now we're in game with the Magnacore. This is the plasma weapon. So this is a completely different kettle of fish. This weapon is very slow, it's very powerful. It's ideal for dealing with elites. But it's a completely different playstyle. So this is a charge weapon. You do have a single shot ability, but you also have a charged ability which you can use on obviously the bigger elites and the monsters to do a lot of damage, especially if you use the sharpshooter's ability to give you that 50% buff. But this really forces you to use the melee for this class. So I feel like the sharpshooter is a little bit weaker in melee. He has some good melee weapons, but he just can't take the damage as well as the other classes, I feel. So anyway, this weapon, you know, you have to think about it a lot more. So you don't want to be caught out in a position when there's, given that our job is, you know, mostly to deal with the elites, to mark the elites and deal with them. You see how long that reload is there, right? But yeah, you don't want to be caught out in that animation when you have elites. So here's just some elites here, right? See, it just vaporizes them, right? You mark them and they're done, they're gone, right? It's great for that, absolutely brilliant as a team weapon. It's perfect, but you don't want to be caught out with it. Here's another one. Dealt with, right? I didn't charge it there, I was just using the single shot. Didn't mean to press reload either, but we're gonna have to wait for that now. But yeah, it's a very powerful weapon. I love the sound of it and the animations, they're great. A lot of people are calling it just a weaker bolter, but kind of I think it's kind of preference, you know, it's good fun to use. But it's just so much slower. And also something to take note of on that respect is that there's a delay in firing as well. So you press the trigger and it doesn't fire straight away. So you have to be on your target basically and stay on your target for that split second before it fires. So the charge will go down when you're swapped to your melee, so you don't have to always use the vent. The vent is to speed that process up. Much like the Psycho ability, if you... I'll grab a quick bit of health there. If you leave it to go to 100%, it will kill you. Same as the Psycho. So you have to be aware of that. But yeah, oh, that was nasty. But what I'm enjoying about it is, you know, I just didn't enjoy this class at first. I was like, it just kind of felt basic. There's nothing really special about it. You were using the same weapons early on in the levels as the other classes, so it didn't really feel like anything new. But yeah, once you unlock the sharpshooter weapons, the class-only weapons, it sort of begins to come into its own. And so I really like that, the difference in that dynamic. You know, between two weapons, you have a high rate of fire, lay down a lot of suppression, and then you have this thing, which is just an absolute melter for the big monsters. Where's that hound? Oh, you're lucky. Let's see if we can deal with this elite from here. And we can, see. A little bit of charge, slight charge. That elite was a hell of a distance, and he's dealt with. Done, you know? No problem. There was a sniper there as well. Yeah, there he is. Let's deal with that sniper. That's him dealt with, is it? I think it is. Let's lob a grenade in there. So, you know, it's really... to be honest with you, the sharpshooter feels more like a support class. It doesn't feel like a leading role, because I kind of feel... It might just be my playstyle, but I kind of feel like the game is heavily melee. And this kind of fits for people that want a more shooty game, you know, but then... So here we have more elites coming. So let's charge up. He's dealt with, right? That's exactly what we're supposed to do with this class. And in this role, this weapon is really good. Really, really good. There's another elite. Done. Another elite. Oh, they've dealt with him already. But yeah, so I can't really see why people are hating on it. I think you just kind of have to learn everything that you use in this game. I wanted a grenade. Everything that you use, you kind of have to learn to use it, where its strengths and weaknesses are. And that, to me, is the fun of the game. So that's where I think they need to add... We didn't die? They need to add more weapons like that, you know, they... Because people are saying, like, what's the strength of using this plasma gun, right? Well, maybe it's the gameplay aspect, which is enjoyable to use, you know? Who knows? But we've all got our own opinions, and this is Darktide so far. I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Let me know what loadouts you're liking to use. Let me know what feats you're using for this class. What your favorite class is. Let me know in the comments, and I'd love to see what you guys are playing as and what you prefer to use, etc. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you in the next one.